of this church is to transform ourselves and the world through love, wonder, and connection. Please rise in body or spirit to join me in our affirmation of who this community is, beginning with that all-important word. Wait, this is great. This is great. We can all center ourselves in this moment and prepare to say loudly and proudly, message of this church, and service is our way. This is our great covenant together, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
So, yeah, I told you to sit down too soon. Sorry. So yes, thank you for bearing with us. For yeah, I got a promotion. Instead of worship associate, worship leader. So what? Sorry, remember I'm deaf. It's all right. But so now we are going to be doing our opening hymn. And so if you rise in body and spirit, we will be singing our opening hymn. It is in the gray hymnal, Wake Now My Senses. Hang on a second. Do I still need to say something? We're working on it. Okay. Senses and hear the earth call, feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow, giving, receiving as love shows us how. Wake now, my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Suffer by limit and praise the sublime. Wake now, my compassion, repeat to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the white sky. Take us your neighbor, both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Now you may be seated. Join me in saying our chalice lighting words as Adina lights our chalice. And I think there are está bien. So just FYI, I am Carrie Williams Jensen, and I do fill the role of worship associate. That is one of my things, and singing in the choir, and here we go. So join me in saying our chalice lighting words as Adina has lit our chalice. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together. And you see the author, Reverend Christine Robinson. Okay, now is our time for prayer and meditation. So please join me now in our time of meditation and prayer. Find a comfortable place for your body, noticing your breathing, finding your center, and listening to this prayer from Betty Bobo Seiden. So take a moment to just be, allow stillness to settle in. Come again, sun. Bring us your lengthy days and slow rhythms. Welcome in Helios, Sol, Ra. Come again with your strength and glow. Come again with your warm embrace. Come with tender feet to lead us across the hot coals, those places of difficulty in our lives. Come and gather us up in your breezes so we can let ourselves be blown with the seeds of summer to start propagating something new, something holy. Come and let us worship together. We hold in love and light. Were there any prayer cards back there? Did anybody get to check? Okay. Centers of connection. So as we come together every Sunday from our own separate lives, in our own separate homes, we bring with us a variety of joys and sorrows, fears and hopes. We take time in our service now to honor those big feelings together. We share this time as a contemplative time, each of us given an opportunity to share within the community what lifts us up and what weighs us down. Today, we will light candles of joy and hope to lift up the bright things in our lives, and we will also place stones to hold our sorrows and fears to ease the weight from our spirits. In a moment, I will invite you to come participate in this ritual on your own. But first, if you are online, please enter the name that you would like to be held up in the chat, along with the word stone, if it's a sorrow, or candle, if it's a joy. If you, this is directions for folks in the sanctuary. If you would like someone, Adina, to light a candle for you, please raise your hand at this time. All right, and now if you would like to, for Adina to place a stone for your sorrow, please raise your hand. Okie doke. All right, and okay, so now, if you would like to light your own candle in here, come around this side, and Adina will give you a candle. And they do that themselves every time. Okay. And if the stone at the same time? Okay, that's what I thought. If you'd like to place a stone, that you may come around and place a stone. like one more candle for Jackson. And then four more stones, one for Carol, Sarah, Terry Lang, and Betty. And we light one final candle for all the joys that remain in our hearts. And one final stone for the remaining sorrows this morning. And please join in our song prayer response, meditation on breathing 1009 in the teal hymnal. We'll sing it through 4 times. Breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. Breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
And for those who may not yet know that song, we were saying, when I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. And when I breathe out love.
All right, it's me. I'm gonna go to the next.
And hi there, everybody. My name is Adina Danouf. I use she or they pronouns, and I am your Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration. And today the plan was to talk a little bit about rest. And let me tell you, with a partner, a toddler, a baby, this job, a handful of freelance projects, 2 dogs, about 6 neighborhood strays, and a home to care for, rest is not something I get a lot of. But it's something I take very seriously. When I think about all that I have on my plate, I often think about my place in it all, big meta. And it sets me to thinking about everything in the universe and all of the energy it must have taken for all of this to be here. And throughout human existence, people have thought about where we, animals, plants, the earth, stars, moon, sun, and absolutely everything came from. And people have turned their ideas into stories, and they call these creation stories. And they've been passed down from generation to generation in various cultures and religions, changed with knowledge and thinking of the time. I myself grew up with one that was consistently told to me. How many of you had one that you knew as well? Or maybe you've just heard one before ever, where the earth came from? Maybe? Okay, very light. Well, after today, you can raise your hand because I'm gonna share a creation story with you. This is my take on where it all came from. And since I've been so tired, I threw some rest in there too. So it begins like this. Once, so long ago that almost nothing was and pretty much everything wasn't, there was space. Not space like moons and stars and planets and rockets, but space like openness, air, darkness. Then suddenly there was light. And the light was day and the dark was night, and the dark night was the first time for rest. So let's let out a big, deep breath. Perfect. And then after that, the space kind of split, and there were 2 spaces. There was outer space where the moon, stars, planets, and eventually rockets that we talked about would be. And then there was the inner space, this space. Not this space like our space, eventually my space. That's a millennial joke there. Might have gone out of over the heads of some of you, back out into outer space, right? But the day ended, and then there was time for rest. I like the audible, yeah, okay. So then the inner space became something more, right? Not just space anymore, but land and water, frozen tundras and tall mountains, vast plains, deep oceans, and everything all around and in between. Endless beauty, both knowable and unimaginable. Earth, where it experienced its first day and then night, and it was time for rest. Now, after some rest, plants began to grow. Amazing plants with all different colors and sizes and textures and abilities. Plants that were bushy and plants that were prickly. Plants that were long and kept growing and growing as far as they could. Plants that took up hardly any space at all. Plants that were colorful and plants that were plain, from the tallest redwood tree to the fluffiest dandelion. It was all there. Everything that you can imagine, and so much that you can't even imagine it at all. And after all of that, it was time for rest. But as things often do, they kept going, and living creatures began to appear. Amazing creatures with different colors and sizes and textures and abilities. Creatures that were furry and creatures that were scaly. Creatures that were gigantic, so big they could reach past the tallest tree. And creatures that were so small they could be hardly seen at all. Creatures that could swim and could fly and could slither and could crawl and walk. Creatures that were colorful and creatures that were plain. Creatures that didn't quite work out. See you later, dinosaurs. And made way for others. Hey there, chickens. And creatures to withstand the test of time. How old are tortoises anyway? From the largest whale to the smallest flea, it was all there. Everything you can imagine, and so much that you can't even imagine it at all. And after all that, it was time for rest. And then people began to appear. Amazing people with different colors and sizes and personalities and abilities. People that were funny and people that were smart. People that were adventurous and always ready for something new. People that were careful and content with the way things are or were. People that were curious and friendly and helpful. People that were observant and people that were fabulous. People that were simple, people that lived and laughed and loved, from the most exuberant and outgoing to the quietest and most contemplative. They were all there. They're all here. Everyone that you can imagine, and so many more that you can't even imagine at all. And after all that, it was time to rest. Because after all that, it was definitely time for rest. It was time for real rest, for deep rest. And in some stories, the next day, the day of rest, is called the Sabbath, a special day, a holy day, where rest is deemed so important that the whole day is dedicated to it. I know some kids probably can't imagine a whole day dedicated to rest, but I bet your parents would love that. Take a break from the busyness of creation to rest, to reset, and to be. And that's it. That's everything. All of creation, here, there, and everywhere. And our job is to take care of it and to make it better for everyone and everything. And we will. But for now, but for today, we rest. Well, some of you can rest. The rest of us are going to head to class. Thank you.
Oh, that's fine. I don't know anything about this. I don't know how to do this part, but I do know how to do this part. Please join me in our morning offering. This month's Share the Plate offering, which we do on the fourth Sunday of every month, is the minister's discretionary fund. Any fund that goes into the minister's discretionary fund supports members, friends, and folks in the community who are struggling. Needs that this fund has supported this year include rent assistance, utility assistance, transportation assistance, and more. Please give generously to support your friends and neighbors through this fund. May we give in love and in hope. And I'll say one more thing. The hymn jammers are going to play a piece in honor of Pride Month. So I hope you enjoy it. Do I hand this to you? And then, okay, great. How am I doing? I'm doing okay? Great.
Okay, so now is the time in the service when Reverend Jennifer Springsteen would have delivered her so obviously carefully prepared sermon. And so it's called, and I was trying to memorize it so I wouldn't have to, but I'm afraid I'll say the wrong words. Soak, Sabbath, Nap. And because it's about rest, and my thought when Reverend Sarah called me last night, I was like, sure, yes, I will do that, no problem. And then I started reading it, and I was like, ooh, these are not, I need to make sure that everyone understands that this is prepared by her for you all, and that is not my words. And so I thought, being a teacher, I was like, oh, I'll do it like a read aloud. So, because it's in first person. And so, because I'm learning, and I guess I was trying to make sure that everyone understood, I'm learning from this sermon as well. Like, it is not, from me. So, they have graciously supplied me with the mic and the stool. So, oh no. Okay. All right. Is it working? Okay. All right. Here we go. So this is called, like I said, soak, Sabbath, and nap. Maybe not all in that same order, but that's it. All right. She says, when everything first shut down back in 2020, I was taking a class called Illness, Health, and Healing. As a part of that class, we were to create a self-care practice for the duration of our course time and to reflect on it each week. On our reading list, I found a book called Spiritual Bathing and thought, now this will be easy. So I set to scrubbing out the tub, gathering candles, Epsom salts, and oils. We had an old house with low water pressure, and I felt some friction building as I waited for the bath to fill. I had my phone cued to Buddhist chanting, and with the candles lit and clothes off, I sank into the tub, letting the warmth of the water and sweet lavender oil surround me. Almost immediately, I was bored. Fidgety. I thought, there's no way I can do this as a weekly practice. Relaxing my mind and body proved to be a lot more difficult than I thought, but I was determined to try. My spiritual bathing book is filled with photos and drawings of bath rituals from religions and cultures throughout the world. I wanted to climb into those photos and forget my own tub scrub, to splash with the gods in Thailand, to slip into Celtic caves with salt and kelp. I recalled a visit to Akiak, Alaska, and cleansing in the banya with the tribal chief's wife and daughters. A banya is like a sauna house. The one I visited had an outer room to remove coats and boots. As we sweated and rinsed, someone brought bowls of snow to put on our faces and chests to tighten our pores. Open and tighten. Exit all the impurities, hold in the good oils. When I started my chaplain residency in a new apartment with a second bathroom and good pipes, I started a Friday night bath ritual. This time, it stuck. And now that my daughter is home from college and occupying that bathroom, a bit messily, I might add, I miss washing away the hurt and anguish I've witnessed in hospital rooms all week. I know water rituals are important. I know it is important to return to the water, to remember the wet of our womb, of our beginning. And when I think of that banya in Alaska and the soaking tub of my chaplaincy, I don't understand what it was in me that first balked at making ritual a weekly practice in the first place. Then again, maybe I do understand. It's this culture of productivity that makes me think I'm wasting time unless I'm on vacation or some special occasion. Otherwise, isn't it a little bit lazy to languish in a salted tub? Isn't there laundry to fold, knowledge to gain, emails to answer? How do we let ourselves be drawn into this quickening pace? I want to tell you about nap ministry. She says you can Google it. Tricia Hersey is a Black American woman who started nap ministry as a way to examine the liberating power of naps. Quoting from the website, she says, "We believe rest is a form of resistance and names sleep deprivation
sleep deprivation as a racial and social justice issue. Think about that. Rest is resistance. When I found Hersey's social justice movement, I realized how much my need to do and make and produce was a part of my own white Protestant heritage. Guilty. Everybody else. I realized there is something baked into my own denial of rest, healing, and renewal. Perhaps this wasn't only an expectation I held for myself. Perhaps it had become an internal bias I held towards others. I want to break this cycle. The need to break this cycle is nothing less than life and death. And then the next anecdote is about her chaplaincy. She says, I walked into a patient's room several months ago and received the polite, no thank you, I sometimes get. The patient was about 65 and had experienced vertigo again. This time he had fallen and they were monitoring his heart as a result. His chart said he was due for discharge that afternoon. Will you take some time to rest tomorrow? I asked him. He laughed and told me he'd be going back to work tomorrow. Really? I asked. He scoffed at me. Yeah, some of us have to work. I'm not quite sure what it is he thought I was doing, but that wasn't the conversation I wanted to have with him. I continued to probe, and he continued on with increasing anger that he had to work. Didn't I understand? He couldn't take vacations and time off because he had to work and pay the bills. Okay, I said, letting him quiet some. Then I asked, so who will pay the bills the next time you fall and really get hurt? Who will pay the bills when you're dead? He wouldn't look at me, but his lip quivered. I could see that. I don't remember the rest of our conversation. I do remember I saw him in the hallway as he was being transported in a wheelchair to check out. He smiled and waved at me. She says, in reflection of that, if we don't take the time to rest and heal the wounds inside us, they will manifest as physical wounds. Many of us are experiencing the physical manifestations of our stress. We've gained weight, we've lost weight, we have headaches, we have gut aches, we can't sleep through the night. This is taking a toll on bodies. So we need rest and renewal for our spirit to regain momentum and serve us as it should. I thought the importance of a slower pace of rest would become obvious as a result of the pandemic. Over 7 million people died, and we talked of recovery. However, we centered on economic recovery. We centered on consumption. I'm glad the horrible lockdown is over, and still I wonder what lessons we're holding with us. I'm switching gears a little. We have entered the astrological season of the sun. We think of summer as slowing down, relaxing. The sun warms our tired bones. These are the Sundays. Time for renewal and re-energizing. A reminder of the Sabbath. In his book of the same name, Wayne Muller offers this verse from Ecclesiastes. Better is one hand full of quietness than 2 hands full of toil and a striving after the wind. This verse is the long ago script of what we call both and these days. Yes, summer is a time of work, especially for those in the food industry, but we don't want to burn too hot or too quickly. Muller goes on to tell this traditional tale in his book. It's short. Rabbi Levi saw a man running in the street and asked him, "Why do you run?" He replied, "I'm running after my good fortune." Rabbi Levi told him, "Silly man, your good fortune has been trying to chase you, but you're running too fast." The West African teacher and ritualist Melodoma Patrice Somé claims that the emptiness many of us feel in Western cultures comes from our inability to slow down and ritualize both the important changes in our lives as well as the smaller rites of passage within our own families and communities. Somé says we rush around and keep on moving because to slow down would mean quiet. And in that quiet, we might have to experience our sorrow and need for human and earthly connection more deeply. Yet, ritual allows us to connect with ourselves, others, and the world. We allow ourselves to blossom with joy and gratitude. Maybe that's harder for some folks than others. She has another voice. Steve Almond is an author and teacher. He's very funny, but so honest about what makes good writing. As newer writers, we often rush through the hard parts of our stories. We put those tough conversations and big moments off stage. I know I've edited many a manuscript where I thought, hey, I want to see that. The couple makes love for the first time. The mother and son fight about their different memories of the father. A con artist narrowly escapes a run-in with the police. I could go on and on. Almond tells writers to slow down where it hurts, because readers come to books to watch all that hard stuff playing out before our eyes. We want to squirm with all the gritty details, or rather, to emotionally connect with the characters and situations. Dare I suggest we should want to slow down where it hurts in real life? You know when you don't. It shows up someplace else, usually at 3 a.m. And there you are, trapped in bed, thinking all the things you hoped to avoid during the day. Slow down and let them come into consciousness. We can slow down using ritual as Somé suggests. The very simplest rituals come easy to us. You use lighting a candle. And you can sit at the end. It doesn't have to be a chalice. Any candle will do. And you can sit at the kitchen table for a minute or 3 and let yourself think of what is coming up for you. Think of the loved one you lost, or the worry you have about moving into a smaller home, the nervousness you have about your grandchild's start in college, or money, or whatever you need to experience a sense of slowing down and being present. That list is probably pretty inexhaustible. And this ritual, I'm totally, I need to like take a little snapshot, and this word nerd. So here is another ritual, and I studied Spanish, not Latin, so this is my best. Lectio Divina. That sounds like Harry Potter, but anyway. Lectio Divina, or divine reading. It is a very old practice of contemplative reading, originally done with scripture. The idea is to read a passage and let it immerse you. You aren't meant to force meaning, you just open your heart to the words. So I make notes in the margins of some of my books. I don't know anybody else do that? Sure. So she, Reverend Jennifer, put an example for us to do of this practice. And so she provided this little short passage that I'm going to read 3 times. And her instructions, it's called Spirit of the Moment by Tony Vincent. And I'm going to read it 3 times. want to close your eyes, just like relax and just kind of listen. All right. Let us seize the strength of ritual. Remember, renew, and relive the taste of hard-fought struggles in the human search for justice. We are hungry for the lessons of the past and for the guidance toward the future. May we be open to all that expands our awareness. Let us seize the strength of ritual. Remember, renew, and relive the taste of hard-fought struggles in the human search for justice. We are hungry for the lessons of the past and for guidance toward the future. May we be open to all that expands our awareness. Let us seize the strength of ritual. Remember, renew, and relive the taste of hard-fought struggles in the human search for justice. We are hungry for the lessons of the past and for guidance toward the future. May we be open to all that expands our awareness. So if you have your eyes closed, you open your eyes and go back up to normal focus. And Reverend Jennifer points out that that ritual didn't take long, but it slowed us down and it offered the opportunity for renewal. Going back to Ecclesiastes, Reverend Jennifer says that Rabbi Levi's tale, the Nap ministry, rituals, and summertime itself, these are all lessons in balance. What is it that makes you put this time aside? This time is actually what she is talking about in this paragraph. Like this time, this moment, like right now, June 23rd. What is it that makes you put this time aside to come to your spiritual self? Is this worship space together meant to soothe, meant to push? Renewal contains within it elements of resistance, of difficulty. Who knows what happens inside the goo of a caterpillar cocoon, or the tree that falls and dies before it is renewed to nurse the forest. By just being here, you are resisting the idea that people don't believe in anything anymore. By being here, you are gifting your souls with possibility. By being here, you are creating opportunities to connect with people, phones away, face to face. By being here, you have resisted the need to rush about, at least for this time we have allotted for worship. By being here, you are opening your awareness, allowing one hand to be full of quietude. Here you are this morning. You are taking this time to pause and rest and renew. What a gift you are giving yourselves. She invites us to give ourselves more and to know that our spirits are wondrous and a sacred thing to tend to. And amen. Thank you, Reverend Jennifer, and hopefully you're feeling better soon. So, thank you. So now please rise in body or in spirit for our closing hymn, Turn the World Around. It's 1074 in the soft cover teal.
It's your time to shine, ushers. Those are not the correct words. We need teal hymnals everywhere. Thank you. Yes.
Turn the world around.
That's not the right song.
So stop sharing here. We have nothing to broadcast to show you.
Ready?
1074, 1074.
We come from the in the fire, go back to the fire, turn the world around. Oh, the river and the water, go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain, go back to the mountain, turn the world around. So is life. So is life. So is life. So is life. Do you know who I am? Do I know who you are? See, we come another clearly. Do we know who we are? So is life. Water makes the river, river wash the mountain, river make the sunlight turn the world around. Heart is of the river, body is the mountain, spirit is the sunlight, turn the world around. We are of the spirit, truly of the spirit, only can the spirit turn the world around. Whoa, so is life, Abatiwa. So is life. 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 Okay. In preparation for our closing, let us reach out to each other in whatever way we feel comfortable. God of light and love, sweet spirit in the throats of birds, in the tangle of river rocks, bring us noticing. Bring us peace and ease today and all the days ahead. When you go, go in love. When you go, go in peace. Salam and shalom. Leave this place knowing that you are good and knowing that you are loved. Blessed be. Take your light and your dark and your love from this place. Share them with the world and stay safe until we meet again. Amen. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience and enjoy coffee hour and conversation, and have a great week.